It's market update time. Hey traders, hope you guys are doing well. In this video, my goal is just to share with you what the indices are doing, the Dow, the Nasdaq, and the SP. I'll make this short, sweet, show you what I see, and we can move forward from there. My hope is that you can just get a good guide of what the overall indices are actually doing right now. So before I get into it, guys, this is just general advice only. In fact, this is not even any advice. I'm just sharing you what I see on the market right now. No one knows what's going to happen. So that's the reason why, you know, you need to be, there's so many areas you need to become, right? There's so many areas in trading you need to achieve to become a good trader. Patience, discipline, consistency, trading systems, understanding how the market works, and so on and so forth, right? So not just one thing is going to make you a successful trader. Trading a successful system is just part of being a successful trader. Most of it comes from actually what you're doing. Make sense? So anyway, guys, before I get into it, there's a first link in the description. I want you to click on that. Why? Because that's where you're going to head over to my next training event that I'm actually running. So I'm running a live one in the next couple of days. So make sure you click on that, go register for it, and I'll see you on the live training event that I'm running. So let's get straight into the Dow Jones right now. So the Dow Jones that I'm seeing right now as I speak, if I take all my trend lines off the screen here and I open my chart up here, firstly we can see that if I look at, say, the 3-month view, let me show you the 3-month view. Firstly, we can see over the last 3 months, we can see how we've just been nicely stair-stepping up through here, breaking up and continue to run up on the Dow Jones. You can see that through there. If I go over to my weekly chart, you can see how if I squeeze my weekly chart up, there's probably an overall big sort of a big channel that's going on through there. So it looks like the Dow Jones is trying to race up and have another little maybe 1 or 2% to the high side. That's going to get to the top of this channel around about that anyway. It's not, there's no exact number there, but it looks like the Dow Jones is trying to run up through there. If I look at the hourly chart on the Dow Jones, the hourly chart, as you can see, we've just been stair-stepping up and just making these little stair-step up, and moving higher, right? Moving averages are separated, moving higher, so on and so forth. So as you can see, that's exactly what is happening on the market itself, or on the actual on the Dow Jones itself. You can see what's been going on through there. So this stair-step up, you can see it's moving up and moving higher. So there's no reason to go against what the Dow Jones is doing. The Dow Jones just saying, listen, there's a lot of strength there. Same if you go back, and that's the S&P there. On the S&P as well too, if you look at the S&P, we can see that basically from there to there, you can see basically a nice overall channel that it's been in. You can see this big overall long-term channel, and let me just extend that right out. So to me, guys, the Dow Jones to me is leading the actual market itself. You can see how we've just been squeezing up here. We came down, bounced off this line through here, came up, and we're just slowly stepping up. So to me, it looks like this little pullback here is getting ready for another slingshot, because the Dow Jones is pushing higher where the S&P is not. I believe the S&P can actually continue up and continue moving higher, and at least get up to the top of this channel through there, at least on the short term anyway. Looking on the weekly chart on the S&P, same thing you can see on that short term. This is basically short term channel through here. So it looks like it makes sense that we should have like a nice up week this week and get into the top of this channel as well too. So let's go have a look at the hourly chart. And the hourly chart is actually starting to break down through here, as you can see. So with the hourly chart, you can see how we've actually broken below the moving averages, and now we're just going sideways. So the thing on this hourly chart, if we actually start to break down from here, we could actually see a bit of a downside on the short term anyway. But to me, it looks like the overall flow of this, if we actually start to break back up, that'll be the continuation of what we're seeing on the other indices. So, which simply means we should start to see a bit of a rise out of the S&P. Let's go back to the Dow Jones, and let's go back to the Wildcat, which is the Nasdaq. As you can see, guys, with the Nasdaq as well too, you can see how all it did is just came straight back down to here, bounced off this channel, bounced off this line, came down, and just held through there. If you look at the weekly chart, guys, if you look at the weekly chart, who's truly in control through here? If you look at this here, who's truly in control? Buyers, right? Buyers are clearly in control. We're making these major highs. Moving averages are totally separated. So don't go against those. Don't go against those long-term buyers. Buyers, you know, who's in control right now? If you look at the daily chart, who's in control? If we just look at this, on the Nasdaq. People are like, oh, Nasdaq's topping out. You know, who's in control? What do we have here? A peak. We have a trough, right? Or high. We have a low. We have a higher high. We have now potentially now a higher low. Who's in control of this? Who's in control right now? Buyers, right? Because we stepping up. Now, trade with the trend. If we look at the trend over the last at least 12 months, right now, who's in control? Where is the trend? The trend is up. Right, so don't fight that trend. That trend, as you can see, that trend will just keep smacking you and smacking you if you try to short it. So long-term buyers have been up in this market. So that tells me we're having a little rest, and we actually should just continue this move up. No one knows what's going to happen, guys. The trend will end at some time. We don't know when that's going to happen, but the probability is that you just trade with the trend. Who's in control? Trade with the trend. So therefore, don't go against it. And that's the same with all the other indices as well too. You know, if you look at the Dow Jones. Let me take everything off screen. Dow Jones, where's the trend? The weekly trend is still up, really definitely up. There's no weaknesses yet on the Dow Jones, so no need to go against that. And if you look at the SP500, same thing, the trend is up, so don't go against that, the big long-term weekly trend. So I would definitely not be looking to short the S&P 500. If you do, remember, if the clock strikes at midnight twice or whatever that saying is, you guys know what I'm trying to say, right? The people who are trying to short this market and say it's going down and all this sort of stuff has been completely wrong. So trade with the trend, guys, with the S&P 500.